Let's talk about love and the very fine line between a healthy connection and unhealthy control.
It's just three little words, but they hold so much power for all of us, don't they? So, the big question is, when does that deep connection turn into something, well, harmful? Researchers Forward and Buck really put it best. Let's start with the extreme side, obsessive love. Okay, so this isn't just, intense affection. It's a completely consuming preoccupation with someone. You'll see these four key traits pop up, and together they create a seriously toxic dynamic. And this kind of obsession, it often escalates into very real harm, from stalking to actual abuse. But what's actually going on inside the brain? Well, the biology here is pretty surprising. Get this, scientists found the brain of someone newly in love can actually look like an OCD brain. The reason why? It all comes down to low levels of serotonin, which regulates mood and obsession.
Now, obsessive love is extreme. A more common issue is codependency, an unhealthy reliance on someone else.
You'll see things like zero boundaries, constant people-pleasing, basically a total loss of your own identity. A good way to picture it is two circles merging into one, completely losing their own shape. So what's the healthy goal then? It's not total independence, it's actually interdependence. Here, you have things like clear boundaries, mutual support, all the stuff that builds a truly healthy connection. And this is the ideal image. The circles overlap, sure, but they both stay whole and distinct. So let's put them side by side. The difference in boundaries, identity, and power is just huge. So it really makes you think, right? In your own relationships, do your circles overlap or do they eclipse?
Love. It's got to be one of the most powerful forces in our lives, right? But that power can build us up, or it can completely tear us down. So today, we're going to walk that super fine line that separates a real healthy connection from a truly harmful obsession.
Just three little words. When you hear them at the right time, from the right person, it feels like the foundation of your whole world. It's like a promise of trust, of a future you build together.
But here's the thing. That same incredible intensity can be a little misleading sometimes. The line between a deep, meaningful connection and a dangerous fixation, it isn't always so clear. So how do we tell the difference? That is the big question we're diving into.
Okay, so let's start with the goal, right? The gold standard, healthy love. And the foundation for that is a concept called interdependence. Honestly, this is the bedrock of any strong, lasting bond.
So what does that actually mean in plain English? Well, interdependence is all about balance. It means you can lean on your partner for support, and of course they can lean on you, but you both stay strong, whole individuals. It's about having that deep connection without losing yourself in the process.
This Venn diagram is the perfect way to visualize it. Think about it. You have your circle, that's your identity, your hobbies, your friends, and your partner has theirs. In a healthy, interdependent relationship, those circles overlap. That shared space in the middle, that's your life together. But the key, and this is so important, is that both circles stay whole. You're two complete people who choose to build something amazing together.
But what happens when that beautiful balance starts to break down? Well, that's when we move along the spectrum to codependency. This is where that healthy line between you and me starts to get really, really fuzzy.
In a codependent relationship, your self-worth gets completely tangled up with another person. You start needing their approval just to feel okay about yourself. And you often end up sacrificing your own needs to get it. If we go back to that Venn diagram, this is what it looks like when those two circles have almost completely merged into one messy blob.
This chart just lays it out so clearly. Look at the differences. In a healthy relationship, boundaries are clear and respected. Codependent, they barely exist. With self-identity, a healthy bond means you stay you. An unhealthy one means your identity starts depending on them. And check out the power dynamic. Healthy love is all about equality. Codependency, well, that's where attempts to control start creeping in.
Okay, we're moving from unhealthy to the truly dangerous end of the spectrum. This is where love isn't just out of balance, it literally becomes a weapon, a tool for possession and control. This is obsessive love.
Wow, this quote really just cuts right to the heart of it, doesn't it? The emotional foundations are total opposites. One is built on trust, on caring, on good things. The other is built on this toxic cocktail of fear of being abandoned, fear of rejection, and this desperate, all-consuming need to possess another person.
So how does an obsession even take hold? It often follows this really disturbing pattern. It starts with this idea of the one magic person, this belief that only one person on Earth holds the key to your happiness. So of course, when that person tries to create some distance, the obsessor just can't handle the rejection. That's when the pursuit ramps up. And if the rejection keeps coming, that feeling can curdle into a desire for revenge. It's not about love anymore, it's about punishment. And finally, you might see this savior complex, where the obsessor tries to manufacture dependency by saving the target, which is really just another form of control.
The consequences for the person on the receiving end of this are absolutely terrifying. We're not just talking about hurt feelings here, we're talking about real physical danger. It shows up as stalking, as constant unwanted calls and texts that create fear, and it can escalate into every form of domestic violence, physical, emotional, and sexual abuse. The goal is always, always control.
So we've seen what this looks like, but what about the why? Why does a powerful infatuation sometimes spiral into this incredibly dangerous obsession? To get that, we actually have to look inside the human brain.
I mean, what is happening chemically that makes someone feel so completely consumed by another person? The answer is, well, it's fascinating, and honestly, it's a little bit scary.
Okay, get ready for this, because it's kind of a mind-blower. Neuroscientists have found that the brain of someone in those early head-over-heels stages of love looks remarkably similar to the brain of someone with obsessive-compulsive disorder. Yeah, those constant, intrusive thoughts about a person, that's not just poetry. There's a real biological reason for it.
And to put a number on it, research has shown that someone who's totally infatuated can spend up to 85% of their waking hours thinking about the person they're into. 85%! That is a staggering level of mental energy, and it's very similar to the kinds of obsessions people with OCD experience.
So what's the connection? Well, the key seems to be a brain chemical called serotonin. It turns out that both people in the early stages of intense love and people with OCD show similarly low levels of serotonin activity. This is the stuff that helps regulate our moods and stop us from getting stuck on a thought. So when those levels are low, the brain can get stuck in a loop. Now, for most of us in love, this is just a temporary phase, but it really helps explain why those feelings can be so powerful and all-consuming.
Okay, wow. We've covered a lot of ground here, from healthy connection all the way to brain chemistry. Let's pull it all back together and look at the big takeaways from all this. This slide really summarizes the whole spectrum perfectly. On one end, you have interdependence. The foundation is trust. The identity is two whole individuals, and the outcome is you grow together. In the middle, codependency. The foundation shifts to fear of rejection, identities get blurry, and the outcome is stagnation and resentment. And at the far, dangerous end, obsessive love. It's founded on fear and possession. One person's identity just consumes the other, and the inevitable outcome is harm and control.
And so we end with this final, really crucial question. Look, this isn't about judging yourself or anyone else. It's about empowering yourself with knowledge. Understanding this spectrum, from healthy interdependence all the way to harmful obsession, it gives us the tools to check in on our own connections, to spot the warning signs, and to actively build the kind of love that helps us grow, both together and as individuals.